What's up, everyone? Welcome to Squad Chat. Today it's me and the guy Parker.
Hi.
It's just us today. We have quite a packed show for you today, even though it's just two of us.
It's true.
Blizzard has been dropping the ball,
Oh my god.
Parker.
I can't even believe it, dude. It's been such a crazy 2 week news cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to talk about it last week just because a lot of things were unfolding like the day of us
Yeah.
recording.
Cool.
And it didn't seem fair to like kind of just jump into it with half knowledge, but I mean, it just keeps coming. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, and we got the news either today or yesterday. It's Wednesday at the time of recording, but that now the American Hearthstone team has been banned. With the same kind of punishments as Blitzchung got. So it sounds like they're at least getting more fair, but we should do an overview. That way we're not confusing everybody that's listening if I'm just talking about craziness. So basically what happened is in the Grandmaster Series in China, Hearthstone Grandmaster Series in China, a player named Blitzchung at the end of the tournament was giving his little like, thanks for letting me play here, I won the thing, speech. And then the casters of the series said, all right, say your 8 words. And then they ducked down beneath the table. And Blitzchung gave a rousing speech in support of the protests going on in Hong Kong right now. Blizzard cut the stream, and then they banned him and the casters for a year, and they took all of his prize money. Is that a pretty
cut
good?
That real quick.
They cut it real quick. Yeah. That's what happened at the event. Since then, there have been online protests. Mods of the subreddit of the Hearthstone subreddit have been leaving. People just on the internet seem to be pretty upset about that, as they rightly should, because it seems that Blizzard is taking the side of the Chinese government rather than the side of people that want to support, believe it or not, freedom in the world.
It's controversial. Freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, of course.
Can't risk it.
So that whole situation's been going on and it's been kind of crazy. I think it was the October 12th or 11th. J. Allen Brack released a statement saying that, maybe they acted a little too fast and that they would give him his prize money and he'd be banned for 6 months. And we still love everybody all around the world. Turns out he'll be able to actually compete in the World Championship at BlizzCon, Blitzchung.
Yeah,
World.
originally when he first got the ban, it was for a year, and he said that even after the year was up, that he probably wouldn't want to play Hearthstone again just because of how Blizzard handled the situation.
I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't want to play either.
Yeah.
It sounds like though he went into it knowing what would happen. Like it's not that, and for everybody at home, this is it's not like he didn't break any rules and they just said no, we don't like this. It's like he made the cast like into a political thing, and that's not what Blizzard wants. If you're a large corporation, you just probably don't want that, because if everybody takes a minute to grandstand, if they win something, it becomes about the player and the politics rather than the game, which is what the company would probably like, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, so I'm of two minds, right? Like, obviously what they did and how they like acted was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like a rock and a hard place, because if you allow people kind of that post-game interview or whatever you want to call it, and you allow them to kind of say whatever they want, eventually someone's going to get up there and they're going to say something they believe in that isn't actually of popular belief.
Yeah.
Like, go Nazis or something.
Oh God.
So I'm sure like their intentions were to keep that gate closed. Like, they don't want to bring that stuff into the tournament scene where they just want to focus on the game, but it's just the way that they handled it, and their poor excuses for the way that they handled it was pretty bizarre.
Yeah, and then the local Chinese offices of Blizzard released a statement saying what we did was right. We're appalled at the actions of these casters and Blitzchung, and we will always uphold the glory of our country, or something along those lines. And it was like very creepy to have that statement come out and then have the main offices of Blizzard located in California say we love everybody, but it's just it's a very, very strange time to be a Blizzard fan, just in general. And then today, it's either today or yesterday, we heard about the American players that were streaming their college group of players. I can't remember. Is it American University?
It's AU. I know that's the abbreviation.
I think it's American University. Their Hearthstone team, during a stream, held up a sign that said it said something like "Protest Blizzard, Free Hong Kong."
Yeah,
which is an intense statement. They ended up getting banned for 6 months. Originally, nothing happened to them, and everybody was like, "That's not fair."
Well, originally they were allowed to continue in the tournament because they had won their game,
right?
And they actually forfeited their match and backed out of the tournament.
Which, I mean, in support of Blitzchung, which is just such a solid move. I think it's really cool because it's just cool to see people standing up against the corporation. I guess everybody loves the underdog things, or at least I do. I love underdog stories. So like seeing, the players standing up against the thing that's obviously not the popular opinion is.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. Like Blizzard, it's just a weird situation. And and obviously there have been protests at Blizzard's campus, so it's not that all of Blizzard thinks this way. And if you know people that work at Blizzard, they're the devil. That's not it. It's that corporate is responding one way, and you can never really understand what corporate motives are because everything happens behind closed doors, and the people that make the decisions are usually just paid to sign the paper or make the decision.
Yeah, and so kind of the interesting aspect going forward, so that was kind of the catch-up overview side of things. Blitzchung kind of accepted their apology, and he said he was grateful for them reconsidering the prize money, but they reduced his ban from a year to 6 months, so he's still receiving a 6-month ban.
Yes.
Kind of going forward, people still aren't happy with Blizzard at this point. They believe that he shouldn't be banned at all. I'm not one to say what a company should or shouldn't do. I'm not thrilled about their reactions and how they've handled the situation, but I'll be interested to see how BlizzCon, which is in 2 weeks, how that's gonna go.
God, I can't wait for BlizzCon, dude.
Dude, this BlizzCon is supposed to make up from last year's BlizzCons, which was atrocious. Do you guys have phones? Do you guys not have phones?
Oh, don't.
It's like, oh man, do you guys not have freedom of speech?
Oh, burn. No, and I mean it's supposed to be the biggest BlizzCon ever of all time. Like Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, new World of Warcraft expansion, Warcraft 3 remastered stuff. Like, and apparently Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 were pretty much ready to go, from what I understand, last BlizzCon, but they chose to hold it back just in case they needed to delay the games. Turns out they're still on schedule, so they're going to be mostly finished products that we see. Which, from that's just the scuttlebutt that I've heard. So it's going to be a massive one, and then you've got the protests, and it's that are potentially going to happen, and it's not even like that's a wild and crazy idea anymore, because Blizzard themselves have already taken the temperature and they've decided to react defensively to against all of this bad press they've been getting by adding more bad press to the mix, with this Nintendo launch not happening at all. And I get it. For those of us listening that don't know, Blizzard was supposed to have a big event at the Nintendo headquarters in New York with the launch of Overwatch on Switch, which we will talk about in a minute. But they canceled it.
Yeah, so I honestly don't know what they're thinking, because it's not like you can cancel each event for all time going forward. This kind of falls in line with them still stifling the voices of their community. They're kind of showing that they don't want to hear it, they don't want to deal with it. If you cancel this event because of protests, the protesters will just go to the next event.
It's true.
Are you gonna keep canceling of all the events going forward? It kind of, you're prolonging the inevitable. honestly.
Yeah, it's getting kind of weird. And it seems like that came out of the blue completely. Like Nintendo was still expecting them to show up, and like
Yeah, it was day of it. It
Yeah.
seemed like that they canceled it.
yeah, it was because voice actors were like the Overwatch voice actors were gonna be there signing things, doing a panel, like it was gonna be a big thing. And then Nintendo made the statement, from what I understand, from what I read, all I ever saw was Nintendo's statement saying Blizzard has canceled this event.
Yeah, they made the tweet. I saw the tweet.
Yeah, it wasn't Blizzard saying, "Hey, we're not going to the Nintendo thing anymore." It was Nintendo saying, what happened?"
Well, I'm sure Nintendo had played a hand in it. They're like, well, since your company is like under so much fire, you guys need to provide security or something for all the protesters. I'm sure it was like on both parts almost.
Yeah, I bet so. And like New York is prone to protests. I feel like at least they've got a lot of people there, and they're my sister lives in New York, and there's she's taken a part in quite a few protests and marches and things there. So that would be a big one if it ended up happening. At BlizzCon, they're worried about it happening. Obviously, I saw a very cool post on Reddit talking about how, like, if the protesters do show up, like, Blizzard will probably be prepared to handle it. In fact, they're probably taking the time to go ahead and start handling it. Like, if the protesters show up, they'll just cancel Q&As. Like, they'll have people... because, the guy that did is this an out-of-season April Fool's Day joke? That guy gave the question screener at BlizzCon a fake question so that he was able to ask his joke question.
Yeah.
Well, I say joke. It was a very good question to ask. We were all thinking it. But no, they'll just have, like, the employees screen the question and then ask it for the person. Like, it's going to be this whole thing where they're just, if they see any signs, they can just they can cancel this event because it's their own event. So they can handle it however they want, but I think they just need to face the music, Like, at some point, you just have to sit here and say, well, the majority of this audience is a little upset, so we should, like, not tiptoe around it.
Yeah, especially after their last statement and kind of how tone deaf it was to kind of how the community was feeling. It shows that they're kind of, whoever's making the decisions is just really out of touch with what people wanted and what people wanted to hear and the actions that people wanted to be taken.
Yeah. I've seen, obviously everybody thinks that China has a big hand in this. And if not directly, the government saying, hey, do this stuff, or Tencent Games, which has a 5% share of Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, saying, hey, do this stuff. It's the appeal of the Chinese market, because the Chinese PC game market, I think it was this year, passed the amount of people that play PC games in China is more than the entire population of the U.S. So wow. It's an emerging market there too. So people say, if you don't get your foothold in now, you're gonna be missing out on the boom when it happens.
Well, not even that, but China is such in such a weird state that they can just not release their games there. China has that authority to be like, okay, you can't release your games here, and then they just miss out on that whole market.
Oh yeah, so like if anything goes wrong, like, you'll miss China, which is you don't want to, especially with esports becoming, and I feel like way more legitimized recently, and like just exploding. Everything's an esport now. You want all your games to be esports in the biggest market. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, Overwatch sucks right now on the Switch. Not in general. The Halloween skins look awesome. Like,
oh, they look so good.
Everybody's protesting.
So
yeah, everybody's protesting Blizzard, but those skins are pretty nice. So if you do have Overwatch and you're considering grabbing them, we'll look the other way.
Just appear offline.
Yeah,
okay.
Appear offline. Don't tell us how you got it. You're good, because they are amazing skins.
Just don't pay money for them. Only play to get them.
Yeah.
There's your protest.
Protest with your wallet. Yeah, so Overwatch is not running well on the Switch. That's pretty much all we need to say about it. Like, the frame rate's it's as expected. When it got announced, I was never super jazzed about it. I was like, okay, cool, I guess, but I don't like the controllers on the Switch for shooters. I even passed on Doom when it's been on sale on the Switch. Like I just don't want to play shooters. I always play the Switch at my house where I have Wi-Fi and I have my computer at my house where I play. You know, so it's like I never really needed to take Overwatch with me on the go. And honestly, at this point, it's a 3.5-year-old game. You know, almost 4-year-old game. It's like if you don't have it on PC or console, I don't know if I can ask this, but like, do you really want it at this point?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna choose to play. Like the Switch has become such a like just melting pot of ports and garbage ports and things like that. I've heard The Witcher doesn't run amazingly well either. Though I've seen conflicting reports. Like some say it's amazing, some say it's not.
Well, I guess it's how you manage your expectations. If you think that you're gonna go in playing The Witcher at like 1080p, 60 frames per second on Switch, then you're out of your mind.
True. So if you want the inferior experience of Overwatch, please buy it on your Switch and lament your terrible, terrible decision-making skills.
Do you know how much they're selling it for by any chance?
I think it's $60.
Oh, good lord!
Let me just like. Can you riff while I Google it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
$40.
Oh, 40?
Yeah, 40 at Target.
And how much
GameStop,
is it
and
on
Best Buy.
PC right now?
It is.
Overwatch on PC price.
It's
probably $20 on PC.
I mean, you could run Overwatch on a potato if you really wanted to on the lowest settings. So, I don't know. It seems to me like, and you can get it, you know, on PS4 and Xbox for $40. Like, it's cool. Like, the Switch is a huge market. You know, it just is. Mm-hmm. I've always thought of the Switch as like a secondary console, not a primary console. Except now, now it feels more like it. It just seems like everybody I know that has a Switch has another console as well.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I don't know, and that may be like a very privileged point of view or something like that, where I do have more than one console and a Switch. But I just think it's just not the way to play Overwatch. Like,
I don't think so. I think if the Switch is the only console you have, then all you care about really is Nintendo games. If you care about any other games besides Nintendo games, then Switch would not be your primary console.
Yeah. That's yeah.
That's my 2 cents on it.
I mean, I can't, like, I got nothing. Like, you're right. So let's talk about the other big news. Fortnite's back.
Speaking of Overwatch.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll get to Fortnite in a second, I guess. All I really wanted to say was Fortnite Season 2 happened.
Okay.
Woo,
okay,
we're
let's
back.
just go there because we're here.
Okay.
Epic are masters of marketing.
Yes.
They shut down the whole internet.
With their stupid black hole.
Okay, so if you guys don't, for those of you who don't know, Fortnite has like events every season, as they call it, to kind of bring in the new season. They decided to kind of start over Fortnite. Like, it's kind of like a Fortnite reboot. They're calling it Chapter 2 Season 1 rather than Season 11.
Yeah. Feels like a new game.
Yeah. So pretty much what the event was they nuked the whole Battle Royale island, and then everyone kind of got sucked into this black hole, the map included, and then that was it. You just stared at a black hole. You loaded the game, it was a black hole. You were part of the event, it's a black hole.
Crazy. Like, who decides to just cancel their game for what, 24 hours?
Yeah, that's great. So here's the thing, right? They did that, and everyone was so hooked on it. It was the most viewed game on Twitch, the most viewed game on Mixer, the most viewed game on YouTube.
Yep.
And they were literally crashing websites. Like, Twitch wouldn't load properly because there were so many people on there. Twitter started having problems. Mixer started having problems as well. Like, it kept signing people out.
That's crazy.
Like, Twitch literally broke the internet.
Yeah.
By doing a black hole loading screen.
yeah. I mean, Epic killed it. And it made me interested, and I hate Fortnite. But now I was like, well, I'll check out Season 2. It sounds like something different. I came back from vacation where I didn't have any cell phone service. I told you this, but I came back and I was like, I looked on the internet. The first thing I saw was, why are people staring at a black hole? And I was like, whoa, we found it. What's going on? Oh, it's Fortnite. What? It's Fortnite. And so, yeah, it's a really cool thing to get, like, I don't know, everybody involved. Fortnite has always been such a powerhouse in not just the gaming community, but just like I'd say it has a very significant cultural impact. So it's cool to see them back on top. In a way, it just feels right. I mean, like to me, it feels like at least for the last couple of days, they've been the number one game on Twitch, and I don't think that'll last at all. I just don't, because I mean, World of Warcraft was top for a long time, and like we're seeing the numbers dip now finally. And
that's how games are. They go in waves for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
Fortnite has brought back so many waves over time that it's to be commended.
Yeah, it's like Minecraft. Like, it just won't go away. Not that I want Minecraft to go away. I'm just saying it just has staying power. Speaking of staying power, League of Legends is about to turn 10.
I think it did turn 10, Parker.
Oh, I thought it was about to turn 10. Oops.
Oh, I just know that they had their 10th year anniversary party, so I assumed it already turned 10.
See, I think it's coming up. I don't know. I just watched the video again, but lots of announcements from Riot. Bottom line, right?
Yeah. Talk about another company that had its own share of controversies, but it seems like they're kind of trying to turn it back around.
Yeah, or at least cover your eyes with good news. They announced a bunch of stuff yesterday. And you've said it a couple of times when we've talked about it, but it seems like they're directly competing with the big dogs like Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard and Valve. Seems to be like they're just going for it, and it's what a perfect time to actually send out some competition for Blizzard right now.
Talk about like a PR team's like wet dream. Like, it's just amazing. Like, they announced Teamfight Tactics Mobile yesterday, which is big. That's what everybody's been wanting since the game came out. They got their shooter, their Counter-Strike style shooter with some abilities and stuff that looks really tight, really clean, really easy to understand. That looks almost esport ready, I'm sure.
I'm for sure. That's their target right there.
I mean, for sure. They're definitely taking on Counter-Strike with that. League of Legends Mobile, they're trying to get in on that Arena of Valor game, which they definitely will. They've got a Diablo-style game coming out, so that's a direct, you guys don't have phones sort of thing. They got a fighting game coming, which is it's going to be cool. Like, we don't know what all this stuff costs, but it's Riot. And they said with their card game, their Hearthstone competitor, and it looks more like Gwent in a way, just from what we've seen. And Gwent never really competed with Hearthstone, but it had its fair share of people that played it. They said you don't buy random packs in that game. Like, you can earn everything. So it seems like they're still going with their free-to-play model for at least that one, which is cool.
And the cool thing about that was they said, no quote-unquote surprise mechanics. If you see a card you want, you can just buy it outright with money, or you grind for the material to buy it in-game. So that was pretty cool.
I love that. Like, I'll take that all day. TFT Mobile is going to be great. I've been waiting for that. And I don't know, out of all the things that they announced, and the series as well, they have an animated series. It looks like I've seen that Jinx, who's my favorite champion in League of Legends, we heard her laugh and saw her feet in the trailer. It was
her feet.
Well, I mean, her leg, she was walking, and it was like, oh, there she is. And for when you see your favorite champion in something, it's a big deal. And then I saw an illustration with Echo on it, so we could see some pretty cool stuff coming out of that. But I think I'm most excited for the card game and TFT Mobile. What about you?
Yeah, so kind of for me, I never played League of Legends. Back when that was kind of, I guess it's still big, but back when it was at its peak and everyone was kind of on that train, I was a console boy. And they never had, League for console, which they're going to have now. That mobile game that you mentioned, the League of Legends mobile game, is actually also going to be on consoles.
Yeah.
So consoles will get a taste of it as well. So I never really had an attachment to League of Legends characters or the lore or anything. Kind of my first introduction to it actually was TFT, the PC. Auto chess, Dota Underlords, whatever, competitor.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my introduction, and even through playing that game, I've noticed that their characters, they all have personalities. They care a lot about kind of their characters, their personality, the lore behind them.
Yeah, and it's gonna be cool to dig into that because I feel like right now, if you want to get into League of Legends lore, like you got to read it and like read between the lines and like do some really deep digging, kind of like Overwatch lore. Like if you want to get into Overwatch, like you have to be the one to do the digging. They don't necessarily like present it to you in the game.
They at least have those shorts though.
Yeah, which are cool.
Helps. Yeah.
But like I don't know, I'm excited because this will give us a new perspective, multiple new perspectives. Except for the shooter, that's its own thing.
Yeah, the shoot. Okay, so going back to which one I'm most excited to see more of, it would be the fighting game. I only saw like literally 2 seconds of it, but those 2 seconds looked so clean.
It's pretty, man. It's really pretty.
It looked like Street Fighter 4 almost, and that art style just gets me going. So I look forward to seeing more of that. Also, yeah, the kind of CS:GO Overwatch had a baby and pooped out. Project A is the code name for this game. I played CS:GO. I actually enjoyed CS:GO quite a bit, and I do enjoy Overwatch. So I'm anticipating that I will probably enjoy this game too.
I got really way into CS:GO last year for like 2 months, and then I was like, I need to stop because I was spending money on boxes and skins and things like that. And I was like, I have to stop this right now. So if they have like a skin system in this game for your guns or your people, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, like, and they do things right. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
The only reservation I have for is it seems like they're doing a lot at once, and you can only split your focus in so many directions that something has to take a quality hit.
Right.
I'm hoping that they treat each of their projects with dignity and respect and release good products.
Yeah, I agree. Or they better hire just a buttload of people.
Yeah, and speaking of that, they actually hired one of the ex Overwatch developers to work on the CS:GO Overwatch thing. So
nice.
So they're gonna definitely have some influence over that. So I'm excited to see.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see some of these games take off for sure, because they always end up like finding the formula that's popular and then just capitalizing on that with like TFT. They just like as soon as auto chess got popular, they were like, boop, here it is. Here's our version. Or like with MOBAs, they just yoinked Dota 2 and were like, hey, we have this also. And like, so it's gonna be nice to see them branch out and create more jobs in the industry and things like that. It'll be fun. I don't know. I'm just excited for these announcements. I don't know when they're coming out, but I know that it'll be a good time when they do.
Yeah, and honestly, like, just these games coming out, it puts competition on the table for companies like Blizzard, companies like Valve, and it's gonna force them to also step their game up if they want to stay competing. So competition's always good. I'm always excited to see different companies like jumping in on a trend or whatever, or even trying to find a new trend, which is kind of what this CS:GO Overwatch thing looks like it's trying to do. It's trying to like merge two different ideas and kind of make its own thing, and that thing kind of seems pretty dope. So
yeah, and I mean, if I can be real with you for just a second though, I think that the graphics of that were very underwhelming to me. It looks like empty a little bit.
Pre-alpha for sure.
Yeah, it better be. You know what I'm saying? Like if they released that game, like I don't know, but no, I mean, it's like it looks like the concept is there. And so like I mean, because Blizzard's been top dog in their genres for a long time. Like Overwatch has just been dominating since it came out, and World of Warcraft is like still the most subbed MMO according to numbers that nobody can see, but apparently everybody that reports on it knows. Like they're just so dominant with their stuff that it just feels like they've gotten a little lazy.
Especially since that Activision buyout. I think everyone would agree that Activision hasn't really brought any good to the table concerning Blizzard.
It feels like they're taking more than they're giving, for sure. It's just they said, hey, we want that Blizzard money you got. Blizzard was like, sure, here you go. Thanks for the interest.
Right.
We made this launcher. Do you guys want to put Destiny and Call of Duty on the launcher we made?
Yeah, and then Bungie noped the fuck out of there.
Yeah, so, I mean, Blizzard used to be about the players. Hopefully this competition from Riot gets them in gear, makes it about the players again, because that's what Riot was all about in their presentation. Was like, we make games, but we also play games, and like everybody looked hyped to share these products. Like they're like, we haven't been able to say anything for years.
There was like actual passion behind their announcements, which is like getting kind of rare to see almost. Like people aren't passionate about what they put out anymore.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, here's the game we're making, and we're so excited about it. Please buy our game, and we have loot boxes. Thank you. And Riot was like, what's up, gamers? Here's our game. So yeah, no, that'd be nice. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure that all this stuff will like bring in new customers. They're gonna reach new different demographics, and maybe that'll get them playing their other games as well, like League of Legends. Maybe they'll see a rise in popularity again, or active users just through all these different avenues of discovering their worlds.
Yeah, it seems like a cool world, so that'll be nice to get a new glimpse. I don't know. It seems like a funky week for gaming, with Blizzard being Blizzard still.
Oh God.
Which it's so weird to say that in a negative way, but they
I know, right?
They haven't had a great year.
Blizzard like used to be that company you looked at and like they were almost Nintendo level. Like they're a quality company.
Mm-hmm.
Like every game they put out is a hit. The company can do no wrong, and then
yeah, it's just they, once Mike Morhaime left, I was like, oh, something's not right here. Like something's just, and then it's literally been all downhill since that.
Ever since Activision bought them.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And like, and especially since like, they had just dropped the news about the new World of Warcraft expansion or not expansion, patch, like 8.3, and I was like, man, this is a solid patch. Thank you so much, Blizzard. Next day, they banned Blitzchung. And it was like, how can you fuck up that bad? I just can't. Oh, man. Been a weird week, but excited about Riot, so,
BlizzCon's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
That happens November 1st, I think. So
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to have quite a bit to talk about in the coming weeks, because we get, Call of Duty next week, right?
Oh, is that next week?
COD is next week.
Dude, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, there's so many things going on that I've lost track of game releases. I can't even.
It's so weird. This year has been so weird for gaming, but
I can't wait for it to be over. I just can't.
Let's just start over.
Yeah, just pull the plug.
But kind of to end on a happier note, Google Stadia actually got their release date announced this week. It will be available next month, November 19th.
That's soon, man. That's 4 days after.
Very soon.
4 days after Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. 4 days after Pokemon.
Yeah, it's pretty imminent.
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft started sending out beta access for their xCloud streaming service. So we'll start seeing news about that soon. And all these streaming services are kind of coming at us. So it's going to be interesting to see how those go.
It's just nice to feel something fresh. It feels like that and the Riot stuff, like that feels fresh to me.
For sure.
And especially since and we've talked about this before, especially in our last one, how this generation just feels stale now. Like things need to start picking up faster, I think. Like there hasn't been any innovation really in a long time. So the streaming stuff, while we've been streaming things like Netflix and whatever, to see it hit the largest entertainment, genre, style in the world with the gaming. That's just that's humongous. So I'm excited for it.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we have for you guys this week. A lot of downers, but some uppers as well.
Yeah. We try to keep it up as much as we can. It's just, that's just the way the cookie's crumbling right now.
Yeah. Sometimes some weeks are better than others, but that was the episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what we missed from the previous week and what you're looking for from the next week. And it's been Trexel and Parker.
Squad chat out.
We'll see you guys next time.